Well, the Halloween event has come to an end, and many have already obtained the Forest Witch tank. Share your thoughts about this tank in the comments and whether you've decided to add it to your collection or not. As for me, today, I'll treat you to a new guide on World of Tanks Blitz settings. I'll show you the graphic settings that skilled players use and discuss some nuances in our game. Get comfortable. Let's begin. Friends, in today's tech-savvy world, it's no secret that for many people, YouTube is the primary source of income. Each of you can start creating videos right now and earn from it. You don't even need a computer because the most crucial aspect of any video is high-quality sound. That's why I want to recommend an excellent service from my friends, My Vocal AI. This service uses artificial intelligence and can replicate your voice or any other voice in just a few clicks. All you need to do is record 25 phrases or upload an audio file with any voice, and the neural network will create an exact copy. After that, you can use your voice to narrate any text or even listen to how you sing different tracks.
And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, happy, make me wanna cry.
And with the promo code SweatchVoice23, you'll get a 23% discount. Start earning online with My Vocal AI. All the details will be in the description. So let's go step by step, starting with a breakdown of the graphics. There are many interesting points here. You can confidently set the water quality to low. This parameter won't give you any advantage, but water textures look noticeably better on higher settings compared to low. Personally, I set the water quality to medium because I'm focused on performance. Next, let's talk about object and terrain quality. I would advise you to use any setting except for ultra-low because it results in very pixelated textures. I personally set both object quality to medium for a balance between performance and visual quality. As for tank quality, it's straightforward. If your device is powerful, go for high settings to see tanks in better quality. However, if your device is weaker or you're a beginner, I recommend setting it to minimum because it can help you clearly see the outlines of tanks, especially when aiming at gray areas of the enemy. I opt for medium settings in this category as I aim for performance. Moving on to a parameter that affects in-game performance, effects quality. I strongly recommend setting this to minimum. You'll experience why on your screen when you're hiding behind a destroyed enemy or ally tank. You'll notice how these effects can be distracting during battles. Draw distance is straightforward, the higher the better. This setting doesn't significantly affect FPS, so I would recommend setting it to maximum. However, if your device can't handle that, you can lower it, but don't go below low. This is crucial because on the minimum setting, the tank tracks stop rotating, which looks quite odd. Next is fog quality. Keep it on low because having a lot of fog on higher settings can make it challenging to shoot at long distances. If you set it to the minimum, there will be no fog at all, and it can strain your eyes. I prefer low, and I recommend you do the same. Anisotropic filtering makes the game smoother, and objects at angles become clearer. This is most noticeable when looking at the ground. However, it doesn't significantly affect battle performance, so you can confidently set it to the minimum. Full-screen anti-aliasing works well at long distances, but in battle, you won't notice a significant difference. Similar to the previous parameter, you can set it to the minimum and move on. Frame rate. This one might seem obvious, but I still often see people playing with a 30 FPS limit even on high settings. Please don't do that. Set it to 60 FPS. Even if you have a less powerful device, it's the minimum. If you have a 120Hz screen, you can even set it to a 120 FPS limit, and it will provide a much smoother gaming experience. The next parameter is also straightforward. If camouflage is set to For All, you will see camouflages on both enemy and ally tanks. If it's set to For Player, you will only see your own camouflage. If it's turned off, you won't see any camouflages in battle. If you're a beginner, you can set it to For Player to make it easier to aim at gray areas on enemy tanks. I personally play without camouflages because it's more comfortable for me and doesn't distract me in battle. The next setting is Flora quality. I set it to maximum because maps look somewhat empty without grass. However, if you have a less powerful device, you can set it to minimum, and it won't significantly impact your battle performance. Now let's talk about shadow display. This setting can substantially reduce your FPS. If you have a weaker device, it's a good idea to completely disable shadows. I, on the other hand, set it to low because my device allows me to do so, but I don't need higher quality shadows. The game just doesn't look right without them. I've disabled reduced resolution, and I recommend you do the same. It makes the entire picture blurry and unclear while significantly boosting FPS. Even if you're playing on an older phone, the game will run at 60 FPS without reduced resolution. Now, let's quickly go through some minor points. Disable grass in the sight. This is a must. It can be quite distracting when aiming. I recommend enabling shell hit marks. It has minimal impact on FPS, and it allows you to see where enemies are penetrating your tank, helping you avoid those weak points in the future. Colorblind mode is a personal preference. It changes most in-game colors. It's primarily designed for colorblind players, but some use it for variety. It doesn't impact FPS. Track traces and suspension are somewhat unnecessary. and I've disabled them as I don't see much sense in having them. They might look nice, but they don't provide any significant advantage and can lower your FPS, so it's better to turn them off. HD textures are optional. They make the game slightly more visually appealing, but don't affect battle results. Regarding FPS, I couldn't notice any significant difference, so I've enabled them based on personal preference. We've now covered the graphic settings. You might have seen a few options on your screens. This was the longest and perhaps less exciting part of the video, but if you followed my advice, your performance will improve slightly. Meanwhile, let's move on to the markers section. I decided to skip the control settings because it's a lengthy topic, and I'll provide a more detailed explanation in the next video. In the markers tab, it's quite simple. Although it might not seem so at first, all you need to do is pause the video and set your settings to match mine. Done? Let's continue. In the HUD tab, you can set the reticle to your preference for comfortable shooting. This is individually adjustable, and it's best to test each one to see which one suits you best. I've stuck with the standard A-shaped reticle, because for me it's a comfortable. I set shot result to full, and I recommend you do the same. This way, you'll see useful information after each hit on the enemy, like when you've damaged their tracks. For attack marker, set it to ray in any case. You can see the difference on your screens. It's better for clearly understanding where enemy shots are coming from, and can sometimes allow you to give unexpected resistance to your opponents. The mini-map should always be enabled. This is self-explanatory, and I won't go into detail here. The rangefinder shows the distance to your target. If you're a beginner, I recommend turning on this feature to help you learn to gauge the distance at which you can spot enemy tanks. Skill and equipment indication should also be turned on all the time. This allows you to see when a crew perk or equipment effect is active, which can sometimes have an impact on the outcome of the battle. Having reload timer for allies won't hurt. It helps you understand when you and your teammate can push out against an enemy together. I recommend enabling attention to sector as well. It won't be a hindrance. In fact, it can help you understand where your teammates are heading. Reload timer is just as necessary as the minimap. Turn it on to accurately assess your capabilities in battle. Movement direction indicators are optional. If you're a beginner and haven't fully grasped the controls, feel free to enable this option. Personally, I've turned it off because it gets in my way. Ribbons is also a very useful feature and should be enabled. It allows you to see the damage you've dealt during the battle as well as your assists. In the last settings menu, most adjustments are individual, and you can set them up according to your preferences. One important aspect is the chat, which can be useful in battle. If you're playing on a phone or tablet, consider enabling same control mode. This way, you'll be matched with players using the same control mode, so you won't be playing against those on computers. I believe many players are unaware of this option. I also recommend enabling replay recording because a great battle can happen even for a newcomer, and it would be a shame not to share that epic game with your friends. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you've followed my guidance and are now better equipped to dominate in random battles. I believe this will make many players happy because I often see people struggling due to improper game settings. When you enjoy playing, your battle results tend to improve. Soon I'll create another guide on control settings and show you how to shoot accurately. We're just a few subscribers away from 10,000, and I'm confident we can reach that milestone before the new year. When we do, I'll host another giveaway for you. Thanks for watching my videos. I love you all. Goodbye.